myself and talk to you guys in an hour.
I believe we are live. So yeah, Elena, you can start.
Hello everyone and welcome to this workshop. I'm Elena Marinova. I'm one of the co-founders of IOAI. I'm not seeing you, but I'm happy that you're around. I'm here together with Yova, that you know, she's the chair of the jury, and with two people that you've never seen so far, but these are representatives of our partners, Tuyan, who is from Electric Me, and Nico, who is from Neuroframes. So during this session, they'll be sharing some things connected to the second practical round, and I hope you enjoy it. And at the end, you'll have the chance to ask questions, both of them, and also Yova as the chair of the jury. So a couple of words, why are we having this practical round? It will be less theoretical, more practical, more fun. And our idea there is to have a platform through which we can reach much broader audience, not only the scientific and the researchers and people that are with more deep interest in AI, but also people like the general public who just want to play with AI. I'm not saying it will be easy. I hope it will be challenging for you, but at the end of the day, you'll be producing super cool results, and I'm sure you will love it. And after this very quick introduction, I'm handing over the word to Stoyan. Stoyan, please present yourself.
Hello, very nice to meet everybody. My name is Stoyan, and I'm a digital artist. I've been doing animation and I've been doing motion graphics for the past 30 years. No, sorry, not 30, 22 years. So I want to tell you something about me. I cannot draw. I haven't finished university, but computers gave me something that enabled my career. And that's the undo button. Because before having an undo button, I was always struggling into doing fine arts, into drawing. So let me show you what we do here at Electric Me, which is the studio I'm partner at. In short, we use animation, we use technology in order to create magic. That's how we started the company, so it's really working with AI is something that was really something that intrigued us and brought really fun into our lives. Back in 2015 was the first time we saw the appearance of GAN networks and introducing of the Google's Deep Dream. So this is probably one of the first thing I did 10 years ago almost with AI. This is just a photo collage of a picture of a cat in some trees that I shot when I was on a trip in the mountains. But introducing it to the neural network, it started creating these patterns which really look like surrealistic paintings, like a Dali painting. And this this was something which really took my attention. Back in 2015, that was the best you can do. It was done on Google Colab or the equivalent at that time. But something special really happened in 2022 when the Stable Diffusion algorithm was introduced. I think that happened in late summer. It was like August and September when my Twitter feed started following all these accounts and all these image generation posts that show the ability of this model to generate amazing images. And what's the special thing about Stable Diffusion is that it's a small model. It can run on a local machine, so it can run on your local gaming GTX card. And this started a whole amazing community of AI artists and researchers and developers who are pushing this base model of Stable Diffusion 2022 to introduce amazing results. So back in 2022, we started experimenting. And probably this is one of the first things we did with AI. This is for a light festival in Bulgaria called Lunar. So we wanted to use an algorithm to take the shape of the building. As a projection mapping studio, we do a lot of projection mapping, and projection mapping is all about being able to hit the columns or hit the windows or hit the features of the building with a precision. So AI is something to experiment with. So this is how this process started. We started giving it to different algorithms. This was even before Stable Diffusion with different GAN networks. And we created this base shape, which after that we used other tools to create the final artwork, which was a very large picture of maybe 15,000 by 15,000 pixels, and everything was hand-drawn on top. So at the end, we had a very long process, which was kickstarted by AI, and this gave us a lot of opportunity to experiment with shape and form only in the beginning. And this is going to be a theme. Like for us as a studio doing a lot of animations, AI is giving us opportunity to iterate fast and to create creative concepts. So maybe 2022 was the first time that we saw the rise of Midjourney. And you probably have heard of Midjourney, and this has become like a narrative of AI generation images. So I opened today my Midjourney and started browsing and see like what I did in Midjourney in the beginning, how it looked like. And actually it looked really, really bad. So this is some patterns I tried to generate in Midjourney. This is the actual resolution of the picture it was generated. The first images was 250 by 250 pixels. Soon they updated the model, and very soon after that we were able to generate assets. So this is a recurring theme again. As artists, our main goal is to control the creative process. So it's very cool to have an image generation tool that can do anything, but the question is, if you can do anything, what is the thing you want to do? So we started working and playing with Midjourney and trying to introduce it into our workflows. And this is the first project maybe in 8th of June 2022. So it was like 1 month after they released Stable Diffusion or they introduced Midjourney. We understood that maybe you cannot generate a fully controllable image, but you can generate elements and assets from this image. And this was an opera show done for a very famous troupe of Lebanese dancers called Mayas, who won the America's Got Talent last year. So we used all Midjourney to generate all these different kind of assets that had to look like an ancient architecture. So from there, we use these assets to create the Photoshop images and to use classical compositing tools in order to create this.
Turn the mic off, please.
No, it was 20-minute show. I'll just skip through it because we don't have time for anything, but everything here you can see all throughout the shows, all the backgrounds was done with Midjourney, and it was done by a small team of 2 people or maximum 3 people in a maybe 2-week period maximum. And this is something that was totally impossible 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. So for us, the generative models give us a really big opportunity to explore and use creative concepts. From there, we started using Midjourney for fun stuff, and one of the funniest stuff I did was to explore archive photos of aliens. Like, imagine that there was a parallel history in which aliens were already there all the time. So I wanted to do like a old photo of an alien, maybe in a CIA base, or an alien doing construction work during the French Revolution, or all that kind of stuff. And you can see that 2 years ago, the Midjourney algorithm was really bad compared to what we have today. Things get started from there in a rapid pace, so we use Midjourney to create assets for projects all around 2022. And now, when we use Midjourney, we create tons of assets for other projects. For example, this is from last year. You can see the difference between the generation quality of the first Midjourney and then Midjourney of 2023. The Midjourney of 2024 is even better. So in 2023, we used this Midjourney workflow to create, just for a 2-day period, this animation. So we we shot hands in the studio. We shot hands on a blackboard. Then we use the hands as an input to a video, and then we use Midjourney to generate all these 100 images or whatever. So the tools were moving at an astonishing rate. This was something that only the open source community can produce. I'm really cannot handle the pace and the speed in which all these tools are progressing. So for example, this is Automatic 1111. This is one of the most popular free tools that is based on Stable Diffusion, and it's a gateway to everybody who can use RTX card or a GeForce card on their laptop, and they can create for free images installed locally on their computer. It has several modes. So the first mode basically is you write a prompt and then you create an image. And so I'm writing a basketball on the beach surrounded by sound and waves, and it creates this beautiful result. That was not the case in the beginning. In the beginning, when the Stable Diffusion 1.4 was introduced, it was really bad, but then a lot of people started training and fine-tuning the models with the community samples, with samples generated from Midjourney, or some artists get their own artwork, so they use their own artwork in the process to fine-tune the models. And for me, as an artist who never understood anything about the deep learning community or the deep learning field, I started learning what it is in embedding, what is LoRa, how do you fine-tune a model, how do you do model mixing, and all these technical and really details that makes the difference between an artist and a technical artist. So I might say that I'm a technical artist because I'm really excited by all these possibilities that the models give us. So speaking in that progression, we tried in the beginning to control the algorithm and the prompting, and the prompting was all you can do. Basically, you can just write the prompt and then something happens. But then, just with a few updates down the line, probably on the 3rd or the 2nd week of the release of Automatic, I cannot remember, but the timeline was so packed that every day in the office somebody was coming and saying, "Do you see this new feature? Do you see this new feature?" And they introduced the image-to-image tab, and this is something that you put an image out in, and you get a video out. So I will show you one of the first things we did with image-to-image, and this is, as I told you, we do a lot of stuff for events. So we have a lot of clients who do concerts or big productions with music. So one of our clients is doing very big nights with hip-hop music. So we wanted to do like an intro song. Every DJ has an intro song or something like that. So we wanted to say, okay, let's do something really out of the possibilities. So we created this.
Hey, this is Kanye. Hey, this is Kanye. This is best kept secret party with my main man, Savo.
My name is Drake. This is best kept sacred party.
Kendrick Lamar, heard about your crazy party, best kept secret, can't wait to come and see you live.
Yeah, this is Tupac at the wildest party in Bulgaria called best kept secret.
Hi, I'm The Weeknd and this is best kept secret.
So this video was produced in about 3 days, and actually the most challenging part of it was getting all the faces of the artist, because Stable Diffusion 1.5 was the last maybe model that have some unrestricted data, or let's say stolen data from the internet. So it understands the facial features of a lot of famous people, but some others were not there. So in this project we had to train custom embeddings for the face likeness of Kanye West, and for The Weeknd. I think we got Tupac for free, because I guess it's a dataset. So this was something really fun, and for us, being able to change the facial appearance, even if it was that kind of flickering archetypal style, for us it was wow. Another thing, the DJ who was doing this intro actually used 11 labs, which have audio models, so it can use the phrase best kept secret, and it's being said in a way that these famous artists would do. So this is copycat of a copycat. We never considered this to be a commercial project, but this was something really fun to do, and the people on live on stage when we played this on the big screen were blasted away. So I will show you some online tools. Like for a short presentation, I cannot show you everything because it's a very deep field and there is a lot of things you can learn and play with. But one of the tools that I told you and you can run locally is called Automatic, but there are other tools which are not locally, and I want to show you specifically this tool called IOAI. It's free, you can register, and basically you open this interface and you write a prompt. So I can say a forest lit by the evening sun, painted by Loud Monet. And yeah, probably this is not the most Monet-like picture, but it's something to start with. The good thing about Krea is that you can have these tabs on the side, so you can try image to image and text to image right away. So if you go to image to image, you can use some basic shapes, like create a shape and then move it, create some kind of a montage here, and then by using a prompt, you can just generate the image you want. So before the stream, I used this prompt, like a giant 3D letter sitting over a nighttime panorama of the beach, sunset colors, waves, octane render, global illumination, with stars and the night skies flashing over the sky. So apparently it's too much things. Not every model is good at understanding your prompts the way other models are. And this is something you have to understand while working with stable diffusion models, that every model has different prompting strategy. It has different ways it gets to specific terms of the prompt. For example, there are models which are very sensitive for, let's say, anime art or realistic art, or they're fine-tuned to have a specific art style. So when you're working with models, you have to take in mind and think about which model are you using and how do you prompt correctly. But building on the theme I said in the beginning or a few moments ago, we used image to image by having just like normal footage, and then we denoise the image slowly with a very low strength, so we can get some parts of the image being the original footage and some parts of the image being augmented footage. But things moved very fast from there. One of the crazy ideas about deep learning is that if you have a big data set of images and you know the prompts, you can use other kind of algorithms in order to create third data set. For example, this was the brilliant idea behind the control net algorithm, which actually brought so much innovation into the field because as artists we want a way to control the AI. For example, I might not be as good as prompting as I am in drawing, so can I just draw some picture, maybe a picture of a bird? Can I sketch it and then use this picture to control the algorithm? So we have these computer vision algorithms for quite a while. For example, the Kenny algorithm, it just takes the edges of the picture and tries to roughly do an edge line drawing of the picture. You have the line art algorithm, which does the same, but is very specialized towards straight lines and architectural images. You can have the hat algorithm, which does more or less the same, but it takes only big lines. So we have all these algorithms that were sitting in the computer vision field for quite a while, and somebody gets this brilliant idea. What can you do if you have maybe 100,000 of stable diffusion generated images? You run them through an algorithm like Canny or depth model or a model that produces normal map. And then we have these third data sets of only images done in line art, in normal map or depth images. But also we have the prompts for these data sets. So can you just take the resulting image of the line art, just use the prompt and then create an algorithm that fine-tunes the stable diffusion algorithm to produce a result based on this control net algorithm. And this produces so much revolution into the field because now you can use your own artistic input in order to control and steer the result. So you can use the text prompt to create this basketball ball. But for example, if I put over here a small image which has the ball and has the sun, and I use Canny algorithm to control the image on the right, I can just hit preview over here somewhere, or I can just hit generate, and the stable diffusion will take this image, do a Canny image out of it, and then use this Canny image or this line art image to generate the image itself. And this brings us to the constant evolution of tools because, yeah, automatic is really good in making one or two images, but now we want to generate video and we want a deep, more deep control about how these things, like how you use the denoiser, how you use the different animation models that appeared in with the time, because in the beginning the only animation you can do with stable diffusion was this thing called seed travel, which is basically you travel between the seeds. And let me try to find the seed travel example. But this is a seed travel example. So here, this is one of the first AI workshops we did here in the studio. It was in 2023 March. So I just put a picture of a symbol of our hub, and I just said seed travel. So it just blends between the seeds using control net just to keep out the shape. But things progressed a lot from there, and while we did some simple stuff back in the days, now this is the state of the art, what we can do with control nets and Comfy UI. So this is black and white image or a video of a dancer, and while we can isolate the shape of the dancer and use different control nets to limit and direct the artistic effects into the dancer. So we can make the dancer dance like a flower, or maybe a flower to dance, or we can use shapes of the building that, because we do a lot of projection mapping, so we can use the shape of the building to control the effect. This is like a smoke, but still respecting the shape of the building, and this is something for a future coming festival in China. So we have this building, and with several control nets, we constrain different parts of the building, and then we generated waves into the different parts, so we can have this more directed artistic effect. Of course, the future is wild. Let me just, before showing you something even wilder, let me show you this tool called Comfy UI. It's going to be just like a quick show off. This tool is amazing because you can stack different different models. You can stack Stable Diffusion 1.5 model, and then you can put 5 LoRa's, and then you can put 3 control nets, and you can design the chain of operations in a way that suits your artistic needs. For example, here, don't mind the spaghetti. We hated the spaghetti in the beginning, but because we are not programmers, we are visual artists, we started to love the spaghetti. And for example, this workflow takes these 3 images in this description of the images by using a clip model. Then this description of the images is fed into IP adapter or image prop adapter, and then this adapter is distributed a weight over a specific video region. So we have the first quarter of the video being influenced by one image, then the second by another, etc., etc. And this is the final result. We also have few control nets which constrain the shape of the building. And yeah, so basically this is like a generator, like a music synth. I'm trying to have this analogy that when Stable Diffusion is tuned correctly, every prompt is amazing. So as an AI artist or AI technical artist, our challenge is to fine tune all this spaghetti and all of these settings correctly. So then we can give this workflow to the artist and say, okay, you just change the images, change the prompt, and hit generate, and then you have a lot of videos. And when I'm saying a lot of videos, I'm not underestimating in any way, because this is one of the challenge working with AI. Like now I can generate between 50 and 100 videos every night using 4090 card. Okay, 4090 is the best card you can have on the market, but this is a lot. And for us as artists, or for me as an art director, it's really hard to look at all the resulting videos and say, okay, that is the one thing we want. So just before showing you something even more amazing, this is one of the series that we generated for an event. This was more surrealistic one. We wanted to have this Salvador Dali aesthetic, so we prompted Salvador Dali. It started seeing faces. It started doing transformation between impossible buildings with Escher kind of stairs, or it went totally into the smoke, I don't know, Stargate aesthetic. So for me, this is like magic. This is like being able to just say the words and not using my hands to create images and videos, but using spells to create images and videos. And yeah, let me show you one last thing, which is even more amazing, and that is that you can use state-of-the-art models like the models done by Runway just to create videos like this with prompting. So I didn't put any text here. I just wrote an elevator door is opening and a fluid force of vortex electricity floods the room with the words IOAI written in electric flashes. So the future is really amazing, and now I want to introduce you to somebody special who created one of the most intuitive and interesting tools in the market called NeuroFrames. This is Nico, and I want to say that I didn't know about NeuroFrames before I was introduced to it just 2 weeks ago. And the one amazing thing that NeuroFrames does is includes a lot of technology based on Stable Diffusion, but also gives you a timeline. So when you have a timeline, you become an artist, because otherwise you generate cool stuff. But when you have timeline, you have intention. So you can decide which thing is good and which thing is not good. So your creative process starts here.
Thank you so much, Stoyan. This was completely fascinating for me. As a researcher in AI, I sometimes forget to think about who's actually using the AI, because we're sitting here writing the code and training the models, but it's amazing to see what things actually look like from the other side. Of course, that's also why we have this practical round in the Olympiad, so all the teachers, the students can also get engaged with that side of things as well. In the scientific round, you guys are doing very much what I do in my day-to-day life. In the practical round, you will be doing a lot more of what Stoyan does in his day-to-day work. So yeah, really fascinating stuff. I want to mention just one thing, one clarification, in case you wondered about this. And by the way, now is the time to also post questions on YouTube if you have any. So Stoyan showed you a bunch of tools, some of which he runs locally because he has powerful GPU cards available, and others that you can use online, in which case they're still running on powerful GPU cards somewhere on the cloud. And I just wanted to explain that in case it wasn't clear. You know, when you have compute resources locally, you can run stuff locally. Some tools are also deployed online, and you can also run them online. Yes, okay, so I'm not seeing any questions on YouTube. You can also post them later on. We'll have a little Q&A at the end as well. So yeah, let's then go on to Nico. So Stoyan is an artist, an AI artist, an active user of these tools. Nico will tell us more about himself, but he's here today mainly as a founder and CEO of NeuroFrames, this specific tool that we think is quite cool for video generation. And yeah, I'll give the floor to him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and hi everybody. I'm still impressed by the videos that Stoyan showed and the techniques there, especially the end, really cool. Yeah, I'm Nico. I'm from Germany originally. I studied physics actually, and did a PhD in physics also. But physics was never really my true passion somehow. I was a musician on the side, always kind of hoping to make it as a musician, but never really went all in, and therefore also never really made it. And I think for better or for worse. But after my PhD, I discovered that I really like programming. Actually, I knew this before already from my childhood, but then kind of forgot it during my PhD, and then kind of stumbled upon it again in my PhD days. And this was just when AI had a massive hype again around 2018, I guess, shortly after this Transformer paper has been released. I don't know how many of you know it. It's not so important at the moment, but there was a very impactful paper in 2017 that triggered a big AI hype in the technical field, at least. And so I found myself in the end of 2022 unsure what to do, and had the strong feeling I want to build something myself somehow. And then Stable Diffusion had just come out, and maybe I can give, I mean, we heard a bit of the technical things already, but I can give a quick intro to what I'm actually doing then. So Stable Diffusion takes a text prompt and converts it to an image, very simply spoken. Stable Diffusion, as Stoyan mentioned, also has this image-to-image mode. So it takes a text prompt and an image and converts it to an image. And now smart people have looked at this and have thought, what if we did this? So what if we take the text prompt and feed the image that comes out of Stable Diffusion again as in the input? So you basically you can wrap a loop around this and have image to image to image to image to image to image. And Stoyan also showed this before. These were the flickering animations that he showed. So this is an animation technique, because if you get image to image to image to image to image out, this is a lot of images subsequently that kind of depend on each other, and this is what a movie is in the end. So I played with this and wrote a little Python script in the end of 2022, and I played with another technique, which is you can train you can fine-tune Stable Diffusion on anything you want. So in this case, I showed Stable Diffusion 20 images of myself back when I still had glasses, and then Stable Diffusion learned who I was, right? And then I was able to create an animation like this one. And now we have seen these types of animations many times, but back in 2022, this blew me away. Okay, this was a lot of fun to generate because you can also you can alter the prompt, you can make the person laugh, right? You can make the background trippier or whatever. You can make him also old, really, really old, right? Still laughing. You can also make him photorealistic. So everything, and as Steuern described, everything comes from text and nothing else. And back when I started playing with this, there was no real tool to use this. You kind of needed to use the automatic 1111 or even more complicated things to create these animations. And so I thought, this would be cool now to build a platform to create these types of videos. And so what followed were 7 very intense weeks where I did nothing but coding, basically. Here's a late night session. And then in January 2023, launched the first version of NeuralFrames. It was completely built by myself, and I'm a physicist, so I'm not a web developer or anything. And if you take anything from this Olympiad or from this 30 minutes with me, then it should be, especially coding can be taught nowadays with ChatGPT very quickly, and it's very powerful because you can create anything you want. This was the first version of NeuralFrames. It looks a bit like an app, or like it has this vertical appearance, but this is more because I didn't know how to build it in another way. It was not really working on mobile, and basically you could generate images from text prompts. Okay, this is how it looks like today. We're going to dive in how it looks like today. And now, in the meantime, we focused on, I started as one person, but now we're 9 people, believe it or not. We have hundreds of happy customers that create cool stuff with it every day. And we focused mainly on music videos, and some videos that come out of it look like this, for instance. I hope you can hear the sound. And also there's people who make NFTs on NeuralFrames, so they sell them as digital art. This guy had a huge digital exhibition and made a lot of money with it, actually. Okay, that's the overview. So we are playing a bit of tricks for this image to image loop, and this I would like to show you. Let's just create a little music video in the 20 minutes that we have now. So we are neuralframes.com. We click here, right? We can load a project or start a new one. Let's start a new one. Now already we're confronted with an important decision to make, and this is which AI model we're going to use. They're all based on Stable Diffusion, but these are different fine-tunes, as Steuern mentioned also. The goal is to have fine-tunes that actually you don't need to put so much emphasis on the prompting. For instance, if there's a model that is really good in anime, you don't need to optimize in the prompt so much for anime. You can just use this model. And so there are these all-rounder models which are basically good in anything you can depict. And there are these specialists model which are, for instance, good in analog photography or cartoonish things or realistic vision or something. We have another feature, which is you can train your custom models. This was what I showed you in the very beginning, where I had the video of myself. You can make this here by creating a new custom model and uploading 10 to 20 images of yourself or of a style or of whatever you want. Exactly. Now, if we take some kind of model, for instance, Dream Shaper is my go-to model, then we can create the first frame. So because it's an image to image to image to image loop, the first frame is very important because it sets the tone for the whole video somehow. So we could create whatever we want. We are completely unrestricted. I mean, we can create really whatever comes to mind. For instance, I don't know, a squirrel digital art piece with fractal shapes, I don't know. Then we have this cool button here. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you turn off your video? Because
sure.
It's a bit choppy, maybe the
Oh, that's sorry.
Thanks.
Is it better? Let's hope so. A squirrel digital art piece with fractal shape, whatever. We have this button called Pimp My Prompt, which makes the prompt a bit more suitable somehow for Stable Diffusion. It's optional to use. We have a button here which is turbo mode. It increases rendering time by fourfold, but also decreases the quality slightly. But for now, because we don't want to wait so long, I just activate this. And then we click on render, and then we just wait a bit. There is a negative prompt also. Negative prompt is you type in what you don't want to see. So for instance, there's written now out of frame, low res, text, all these things we don't want to see here, okay? But you could also take this away or enter something else or something. Okay, and surely enough, we have a squirrel. We see actually, because of this turbo mode, that the quality is a bit degraded. You can believe me, if you switch off the turbo mode, the quality will be better. Now we can select between one of 4 images. Let's use this one. And now we're in the heart of Nullframes, which is the video editor. And as Steuern also mentioned already, we have this timeline here, which is kind of what sets us apart in this AI video landscape at the moment, is that we offer a lot of control. Our goal is to really give a lot of control to the user, and that's why we call ourselves the synthesizer for the visual world, which is awesome. You can create anything you want, but there is a bit of a learning curve involved with it. Because you can see already now, there's a lot of knobs to play with, and some of these sliders, maybe the name isn't even very clear initially. So we have YouTube tutorials describing all of these sliders in detail. I will show you the channel. Yeah, it's actually the YouTube channel Neural Frames. You will find it. Maybe as a brief introduction, so the flicker determines how much the videos flicker. Or actually, you know what, we will do this while we're rendering. So what we first do is we want to create a music video. So let's upload a song here. Now it's being uploaded. What Nullframes does is it sends the song now to our backend, and the backend actually extracts the individual components of the song, which are also called stems. And this can take a minute or so. This will become important later on. In the meantime, we can already add maybe new prompts. For instance, we can make the squirrel for the first 2 seconds it should be a squirrel, then after 3 seconds maybe it should become a monkey jumping on a pink trampoline. Yeah, my prompt changes the prompt quite a bit, but still somehow keeps the meaning. Still extracting the stems. Got a bit slow, I have to say. It used to be faster. Anyway, so we have the sliders here. First of all, we have 6 sliders, which should be somewhat self-explanatory. So these are kind of the camera motion. You can switch the tooltips off here if they annoy you, but they're also helpful maybe for newbies. For instance, left rotation, and then you can see here what the camera will do somehow. Okay, so you have control over the camera, and you can there see what the camera will do. Counterclockwise rotation, something like that. Upwards movement, moves upwards. Okay, a bit extreme, but you know where I'm going. Strength is how much the AI will add new stuff per frame. So 1 means the images will be completely new every frame. 0 means it will keep the input image. So 0.6 or so is it will add enough new stuff every frame. Smooth is how many interpolation frames there will be between 2 AI outputs. It just makes the video a bit smoother. Edge echo is this canny control net that Steuern talks about. So it keeps somehow the edges the same in the images. So let's increase this actually. Tile echo is another control net that makes a bit of a trippy effect. Okay, so here we have the stems now. of the song. What is the song actually? It's a lo-fi hip-hop beat. And what's cool, we extract the snare, for instance, of the song, and then we can modulate any of these parameters with the components of the song here, which is the third component that you need to learn to master this tool, is this audio reactive modulation. And this is also a bit complex. So you can modulate certain parameters. For instance, we can make a sine wave with a certain amplitude to, let's say, the zoom, okay? And then the zoom will go in and out, in and out. We can start with that actually. Then it's not going to be audio reactive at first, but we can just start with that and click on render. Oh, that's not good. Where does this come from? I am not sure. Now it's rendering, I hope. We also have these presets here, which are basically different styles of video. So for instance, this is rotation or some parallax stuff. You can choose these, and then basically the sliders adjust to these values. Now I don't know why it's not rendering. That's a bit worrisome, I have to say. Let's maybe reload the page. No, let's try again without a second prompt. I think everything should be fine. Good. We have this YouTube channel as well. I hope you can see this tab as well, which is the Neuroframes YouTube channel. We have all kinds of videos here, full walkthroughs, and also we have a kind of small tutorials for all of the topics. And there's one video in particular, if you want to dive into the tool, which is, I think, the newest one at the moment, from zero to hero, and one of the leading AI music video generators, which really goes through every single button in the program. Okay, now it's rendering. It's very slow, which is weird, to be honest. Maybe the turbo mode is not actually activated or something. Yeah, this is how it is when you present something in front of 40 people live.
Yeah.
Now it's coming. Now it's coming. You see, actually, now it's actually rendering quite fast with the turbo mode activated. You see also the quality for this model is a bit low, but this depends on the turbo mode and on which model we choose. Now, what I wanted to demonstrate is the audio reactive modulation. So here we have some rotation now. Rotation, we can, for instance, modulate the rotation clockwise or something. I will pick something extreme just to immediately understand what I mean. I will modulate the rotation, the clockwise rotation on the snare drum. The snare drum is this clack in the sound. And then here we put the monkey on the trampoline. And then we click on render, and we hope that it goes as quickly as before. So in this tool, you can always go back and re-render sections, right, and change stuff very lively. Let's say it's a very dynamic process to generate these music videos. Now it's coming frame after frame. We can see it appearing. And you see already here that wherever the snare drum hits, that it suddenly rotates the whole image. Okay, and these are kind of effects where you can play with, and now the cat becomes a monkey. So what it does, there's an image to image loop, and then this prompt is basically just guiding it, okay? So there's the monkey, but this could also become a car now, or an abstract painting by some painter, or whatever you can imagine, and even words you can mix together that don't initially make a lot of sense together. You can interrupt the rendering at any time, you can restart. And I don't know if video and audio is synced now in the stream, but this instant rotation here happened on the snare drum of the song. Exactly. I wanted to show you one more thing, which is we can train these custom AI models also, as I shown you in the very beginning of the video of myself. And I trained a couple of custom models on myself. These are long ago. Actually, we've gotten a bit better in the training in the meantime. Let's at least show you how this looks like. This is here. You can select here 20 images or even up to 200 images. And then you need to depict the category depending on what you want the model to train on. For instance, a style or a person. The standard is a person if you upload the person, but many people also upload 200 mid-journey images, and then this becomes a style. As a base model, I would propose Epic Realism or Dream Shaper, but this is up to you. This one is more anime style, for instance, but I think these ones are the best ones. And then you can name it and then train it, and then it takes around 5 minutes to 10 minutes to train it. And we can now do as person smiling into the camera. Sorry, I didn't explain it. So if you select it, there's a pop-up here to depict what you train. So because we have this model now, the model knows the whole world in images on the internet. How can we tell the image that it should now depict the person we have trained it on? Yeah, so it knows everything in the whole world, but we showed it now, 20 images of myself. How can we tell it, please depict this person that I just showed you? The trick is, you need to type in this. So you need to type in SKS person to guide the model into, I want to show this person that I just showed you 20 images of. And then it will know. And so basically this is the name of my name, in this case Nico, but I cannot give Nico the name because the model knows something else under Nico. So we say SKS person smiling into the camera, digital art maybe. Then we click on render. This usually takes a bit longer because now it's a custom model and it needs to be loaded from the cloud somewhere. Let's see how long it takes. And this is how we can create a video with a custom model. The custom model requires a bit more practice somehow because you need to understand sometimes the training. You need to follow certain guidelines for the images that you upload. It should be very focused. If it's a person, it should be very focused on the face, the images that you upload. If it's a style, actually it works quite well with all kinds of styles. People do this all the time and they love this with neural frames also. Yeah, this is basically an 8 GB model, and as Jova said also, this is not running now on some magic. My MacBook Air here, there's heavy GPUs running on the east coast of the US, and they now download the 8 GB model and run it and stuff, and this takes a bit longer than the other stuff.
Nico, one question from YouTube. How does SKS person work behind the scenes? I guess the question is how.
So basically, what the model training, it's a great question. So the model training is called, the method is called Dream Booth. You can look it up. How it works, the training is you show the model one image of myself, maybe in this case, and then 50 images, random images of something. And then how you train it is, for the images of myself, you teach it, the prompt is SKS person, and for the images of any other thing, you show it person. So it will learn kind of the name of this object that you train it on by just, this is the name of it, okay? So this is like you teach a toddler this is mama, and this is the same, yeah? This is SKS person is this particular face that I just showed you. I don't know why this doesn't, I literally tested this 30 minutes ago, and it worked without a problem, and now it makes problems. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe I need to use a different one, I'm sorry. Sorry for that, but you can trust me if you train a new one, it will work. Yeah. Here it's actually, as you can see, it's actually SKS man in this case, not SKS person. I just select man here text-wise. You can do another one when you move to the camera. Yeah, there was a problem here. I'm not sure what's going on.
Can I just say that working with AI has been the most crushing and demanding activity on my computer? So I would just give you a few suggestions. Restart is okay. You can restart more often than you would normally think so. And you also, like, just have in mind that technical roadblocks are always there. And if everything works perfectly, it's actually, yeah, wonderful.
Here we go. So this is kind of me, maybe, a little bit. So it worked somehow, and it's also grinning, right? And we could be very sad, crying. I don't know if this will work, but I think you get the point. Exactly. Also, to follow up on what Stojan said, oh yeah, very sad person. But here you can already see maybe I didn't train it so much on crying images of myself, right? Because the photos I have of myself are more like maybe happy ones. So it doesn't work that way, but it gets kind of the feeling. If you're in the video editor and there's problems here, you can just refresh it. If there's a problem, oftentimes it just helps to refresh the page. It will go to the last state of the edit. Yeah, exactly. That's it from my side. If there's any questions, happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Nico. So, yeah, questions are welcome on the YouTube stream. What I can reveal, so one of the questions on YouTube is, for the practical round, can we run locally? How many compute units will we have if we are on Colab? So we're still discussing a little bit what exactly we want to reveal. One thing I can say for sure is Nico is here today talking to you about neural frames, because you will be using neural frames in the practical round. And while we have you here, Nico, I want to ask you to explain a little bit the credits in neural frames, because they come in minutes. Can you give the students a sense of what a minute is, how long you might effectively, work, if you have a minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. Like, can you give us an intuition of what that
means? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So many AI tools you will find they have a credit system. And I always dislike that, because okay, I see with $20 I can buy 1,000 credits, but I don't know what that means. So on neural frames, because credits, you don't know how much you can render with this actually. So on neural frames we try to make it very simple. We have a minute-based system, which means you can render this amount of video material. So let's say you have 5 rendering minutes, 5 minutes of credit. It means you can render 5 minutes of video in total. This could be you render a 2-minute video and then render it again 2 minutes and then render the last minute of it once again. This is 5 minutes, right? Or it means you expand the prompts to 5 minutes and then click on render and stuff like that. So in total you have 5 minutes of rendering time, independent of which model you choose and how many videos and songs you upload and stuff like that. We also have the custom models, which are also, basically, you have a certain amount of custom models that you can train. It's about the training, not about how many you have there. So you cannot, if you have 2-3 custom models to choose from, and if you have 3 custom models that you can make, it doesn't mean you can have 3 custom models simultaneously and then delete one and then make a new one. Because for what we pay is the training actually. So you can train 3 custom models and not more with that. If you get 3 custom models to as credits basically.
And a model training takes time, like how much time? But it doesn't take from your.
Like it takes 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, okay, but it's not part of your rendering minutes. It doesn't take away from that.
No, exactly. So we separate this because the cost is so different and all.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. So yeah.
Sure.
The idea at this point is that all of the participating teams will get an account on neural frames, and they will get 5 minutes of practice time before the Olympiad. And just to elaborate on the explanation of what the minutes mean, I think Stian can also speak to that, but I asked him how long, so he played around with the platform for several hours, generated a few cool videos, and he mentioned that he used up a total of maybe 10 minutes, or am I remembering correctly, Stian? My point is, my first thought was 5 minutes seems like nothing, but apparently as you're learning to use this tool and you're playing around with it, you can actually do quite a bit with.
So that's 5 minutes, 60 frames each, 3,000 frames. So you basically, no, 3,000 seconds, then 30 seconds each. So you have 900,000, no, 100,000 frames to generate.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot, yeah.
Small amount. So you can play with it as you try it on your site and see. There is a lot of good things about neuroframes, and one of the best things is that you have these info buttons that you can just hover over and see what this thing does with a small GIF file. So, yeah.
Okay. I think that's all we wanted to present today.
I will say also
question.
one thing. We also have a very active Discord community. I don't know if you're on Discord. You can find it on neuroframes.com/Discord. There's a lot of people very happy to help also if you have questions for how to do things, or if you have a problem, or if you want to get inspiration from the community, what the community does. neuroframes.com/Discord. You will find our Discord channel.
Great. Not on the day of the Olympiad though. Use it while you're learning how to use the tool. Don't use it on the day of the Olympiad, because that will be against the rules. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. Stian, Nico, your role in this is invaluable. Elena, unless you have some last comments, I think we can wrap this up. Hopefully it's been super interesting and very educational for everyone. And yeah, we're not revealing any more details about the problem, at least at this stage, because we want to also keep you a little bit on your toes. But yeah, go play around with neuroframes and have fun.
And also
Thank you, Yoga, too. Thank you, everyone. And we'll follow up with an email that will have some more structured information. And again, don't forget to register at the Neuroframes website so that you can get the credits.
Yeah, I think even for that we can send out an email, right, to make sure that all the teams know. So all instructions will come.
And it will be a fun, messy round, and we are sure we will learn from you as much as you will learn from us, and we'll see where is the technology. And I'm sure as we proceed with this Olympiad for the next years, we'll see better and better results, because the technology is kind of exploding. When we started thinking about the Olympiad a year ago, we didn't have the chance to make such a practical round. Just the technology was not there, the tools were not available. So it will be exciting, I'm sure.
One just last thing for me, we're trying to think about the rules in a way that is equal for everyone. That's on the thing, are you gonna run it locally? So we'll probably go to using online tools just for that thing. We want to make sure everybody has the same computational power, but we will reveal anything more as soon as we have it ready.
Thank you, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, bye-bye.